What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you back to me rambling. I know, there's not really any video game in particular that I'm going to be addressing in this video. There's a lot of topics to cover, and whatever gameplay I put in the background, hope you enjoy it. We're just going to move right on into the topics at hand, though, because one question I know a lot of you have for me is, where have you been? Where are the videos? Why haven't you been uploading anything? Not to mention, if you do follow me on social media, you've noticed I've gone completely dark in that time period, and I haven't really been talking to anybody. I mean, it's not true. I have been, but it's been very private and secluded, and there's several reasons for this. Let's go over those. I'm not going to go over the more personal and private things, obviously, because one, I'm not the kind of person that's going to share that stuff, and two, you don't care. So there's those kinds of things that, again, there's a list of those, but those aren't the main reasons I haven't been uploading. In fact, the main reason that I haven't been uploading is because I haven't really been enjoying video games lately. There are several reasons for this. Part of this had to do with the last couple of years of the game industry just kind of wearing me down with cynicism, which, you know, I think it's done that to a lot of people, but me in particular, because of the fact that not only has it been wearing me down, but I've also been so focused on making content that I can't, you know, just play video games in my own time outside of one, has really just wore me out. It's really made enjoying video games a difficult prospect, again, outside of that one, and I think you all know what game that is. So I decided I needed to take a break. I needed to, you know, take some time and just play some video games I wanted to play just in my own time, and, you know, and just have fun with them for once, because anybody who's ever made YouTube or Twitch content can tell you that making or playing a video game, you know, in your own natural environment, in your own setting, on your own privately, is a very different experience from sitting behind a microphone and trying to, you know, make content with said video game, even if it's your first experience, because there's always that air of anxiety, stress, and pressure over you when you're making YouTube content, especially if you're playing a game for the first time, because the thing is you need to be constantly, one, making progress, and two, making content that you know other people are going to enjoy. You can't, I guess, go at your own pace all the time. You can't constantly explore, look around, you know, smell the roses, as it were, because there are so many people that are going to be watching your video that aren't interested in any of that stuff. And so, again, you can't quite enjoy a game in the same way. That's not to necessarily say it's always going to be worse. There are definitely ways in which it can actually be an even more fun experience, specifically with things like community engagement. My first ever playthrough of Silent Hill 2 several years back was actually severely enhanced by the Twitch chat that I had that was following me all the way through and engaged with all of that. It was a very small, intimate chat, but we all had a lot of fun playing through that game. And I definitely think I enjoyed the experience more because of that. But that is, for me at least, definitely been an exception. It's not to say I haven't been enjoying the games that I'm currently on, like Yoshi's Story and Trackmania. I do like those games, and I do intend to finish most of those series. It's just more due to the fact that I've been exhausted. I've been tired. I've been doing this for 8 years. In fact, my 8-year anniversary is on April 26th. And, you know, doing that for so long and only being able to really make time for 1 or 2 games at a time throughout that stretch, yeah, it takes its toll after a while. So that's where I've been. Now, I was considering not actually making videos again until the end of the year, but I've decided that's probably not the best idea. I just need to change up, you know, the format and the way that I make videos and the way I consider certain video games. And we'll get into all of that later in the video, but the next thing I want to talk about is the purpose of this channel, which ties into why I've been taking a break. Because this is something I've wanted to discuss for a very long time. This is something I've wanted to kind of, you know, I wanted to kind of lay the mission statement out there for all to see so they understand what they're getting into when they come to this channel. And to be fair, there are a good number of people that understand what goes on here. A lot of them longtime subscribers who watch every single one of my videos, or as many as they can. And to those people, you are the true MVPs. I adore you, love you, appreciate you. You have no idea how much you mean to me. But I have to acknowledge the much larger, less active subscriber base that I have that have mostly come from my more quote-unquote successful series. These are the Medal of Honor games, Midnight Club, Call of Duty 2, mostly my PS2 classics that I have done Let's Plays of. And a lot of those people come here, and I get, you know, when they're not talking about the nostalgia they have for said game or telling me that I suck, they're usually saying one of two things. They're either saying, wow, you're so good, why don't you do more popular games? Or They're saying, hey, can you do more games in this series, like Midnight Club 2 and Midnight Club LA, or Medal of Honor Vanguard, or whatever. All these different things, you know, these kinds of comments, and I see them a lot, and I want to say that me doing any of those things would completely miss the point of this channel. First of all, this channel is a hobby. I know, that's kind of weird to say in 2019. There are definitely Let's Players who do this as a hobby now, but the ratio of people doing this as a hobby to the number of people trying to make a career out of this has definitely changed over the 8 years that I've been doing this. When I started, making a career out of making videos on video games was unheard of. It basically wasn't a thing. In fact, I believe the number of people that were actually making a living off of their videos in regards to gaming on YouTube, you could count on two hands when I started. They were that far and few between. And there were zero sorts of protections for people. I mean, false claims were being made and taking down channels left and right back then. It just wasn't a feasible thing unless you were extremely popular, like millions of subscribers. Then you might be making enough to make it a stable living. So with that in mind, things have changed a lot, and my mission statement has never changed. It's always been the same. Otherwise, I just wouldn't make these videos to begin with. I mean, would I like to be making enough money to actually make this a career? I mean, sure, yeah, it would be awesome. It is my hobby. Being able to turn your hobby into a career is always a good thing. But that being said, it's never been my goal. It's more of a, oh, if it happens kind of thing. But I have never even for a second, sat down and been like, okay, what can I do to improve my success on YouTube, and what can I do to monetize myself further and bring myself to a larger audience? I mean, in a way that in a cynical marketing sort of way. I've never ever thought that, because the point of this channel is sort of a selfish one. It's the fact that I'm a very passionate individual. There are things that mean a lot to me, and those things that mean a lot to me, I get very fixated on. And also, I derive the most enjoyment out of sharing those things I love with other people who either, can relate or find, a love of their own for that very same thing in the same way. Unfortunately, most of the things I'm very passionate about, I couldn't even cover on YouTube without getting copyrighted to hell. So I've stick to video games. I'm talking things like music and movies and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's why I make video game related videos. And I really, there's video games that obviously mean a lot to me. Like, this is why I've covered them multiple times. I'm looking at you, Shadow of the Colossus, Okami, etc. And so yeah, the whole point of this channel is to connect with people. It is to, in one way or another, bring my love of a game to you guys, and then if you can at least understand that love and you can sympathize with that, or you can feel the same way about it, and we have a connection in that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be a direct thing, but the fact that you have engaged in some way with like a comment or a like or whatever, not to boost my numbers, but in a way that you've shown your appreciation for a video game that I'm trying to bring to you guys, that means a lot to me. My first episode of Medal of Honor Frontline is pretty much the prime example of what I'm talking about if you go and read through that comment section. And that video has garnered a lot of traffic over the years because YouTube's search algorithm has for some reason favored it a lot. I mean, the whole Let's Play in general, if you type in Let's Play Medal of Honor Frontline in the search bar, my Let's Play is all over the front page. I don't know why, it just is. It's not like I tagged it any differently from any other Let's Plays, but for some reason it's at the top. And a lot of people have clicked on that Let's Play, obviously to trigger some sense of nostalgia in watching it, because the Medal of Honor games were very popular back then. In fact, at that time, they were a bigger hit than the Call of Duty series. So while yes, there are a couple negative and cynical comments on that video, the overwhelming majority of comments on that video are to the effect of, oh, thank you so much for uploading this video. This game means so much to me, or I have so many great memories of this game, or this game reminded me of this and this, or this was one of my favorite games as a kid, or this was my first ever shooter. Stuff like that. And that right there, that collection of just sentiments in the comment is why I make videos. That's it. That's the only reason. Just seeing that is what makes all of this worth it to me. It has nothing to do with finances, and this isn't for some noble cause. This is just because, like I said, I'm a very passionate individual, and if I can share my passions with other people and connect with them, that makes me happy. That's something that just makes me happy as an individual, and that's why I do this. That's the whole reason. So there's your answer. So no, I'm never going to be Let's Playing anything in regards to or whatever's popular. I'm not going to ever cover Fortnite or Apex Legends. I'm not going to cover Minecraft. Well, I might cover Minecraft because I actually genuinely like that game. But, you know, that's why I don't really try to ever respond to those comments, and it's also why I sometimes just cut certain Let's Plays short. It's why I cut Dishonored short. It's why I'm probably going to cut God of War short. I'm sorry, please don't crucify me. I like fast-paced action games, and that game's a little bit too slow for me. That's not to say it isn't a good game. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about what's happening in the future. So I have this video scheduled for a week before the anniversary, so I'm definitely recording this a few days in advance. And in the time frame between now, when I'm recording this, and the 26th, which is my 8-year anniversary, I am going to be recording videos again, and I am going to bring all of the series back, or at least most of them back, Skyrim, Trackmania, and Yoshi's Story back, so that they will be ready on the 26th. You can catch a video before you go see, or after you go see the Endgame premiere, and I hope you enjoy it very, very much. Now, as for future content, what's the schedule going to be like? Well, that's the thing. So my uploading schedule has been very taxing, I should say that, because me uploading daily just isn't as feasible a thing anymore. It's something that's just too stressful for, again, what is essentially a hobby and not a career. So I am not going to be uploading quite as consistently and as frequently as usual, meaning I'm basically going to kind of upload videos as they come. Like, I'm never going to upload more than one a day because I don't want to oversaturate or overwhelm anybody, but when I record a batch of videos, I'm going to basically just put those videos up as soon as possible. If I can get ahead, the daily schedule will continue and videos will just rotate, but I'm not going to be making any promises on what days videos go up, except for, again, I am going to try to still keep Skyrim weekly, or any of those really long series with these super long videos. I'll still try to keep those weekly. Speaking of that, I still intend to bring Fallout 4 back at some point, so that's going to happen. And I also do intend to, at some point, bring back Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. I finally got around to finishing that game, and I do want to continue that series. That was the one that I stopped that I was actually thinking about coming back to at some point, and I will. I don't exactly know when. There are other games that I also want to cover as well. I mean, this channel's not going away anytime soon. I'm not calling it quits. There are too many games I still have yet to cover. There are also upcoming games that I'm excited for that I want to cover. Chief among them would be Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I have every desire to cover that game after I do a full playthrough of it. I am not going to be covering that day one. I'm going to try to scale back on blind Let's Plays. I feel like those are just a big disservice to my channel. And again, they kind of miss the point of what's going on. And I just don't think like I do a very good job at making those styles of videos. And the last one to touch upon, of course, is Destiny. Now, I have a bunch of stuff recorded for Destiny, but I'm going to be canning it all of it, because I've decided that recording Destiny as it comes wasn't really the best move. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to wait for Destiny 2 to reach its conclusion. We all pretty much know Destiny 3 is coming at this point, just so that Bungie can take one more crack at it without the, the stranglehold of Activision. And with Destiny 3 on the horizon, and after all Destiny 2 content has been unveiled, which it hasn't yet, and is launched, then I'm going to cover everything, kind of like what I did with Destiny 1, where I started covering it after the last content drop and just did it all seamlessly and linearly up to the launch of Destiny 2. So I'm going to kind of do the same thing with the remainder of Destiny 2 stuff, and I'm going to probably start it all on a new character and kind of hopefully try to seamlessly transition from where it ended last time, and we will continue the series that way. So that's not going to probably be happening for, I would almost say at this point, another year, if not longer. But it'll happen. It'll come back. And that really pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about in this video. I'm glad I was able to keep it under 20 minutes. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy what's coming in the future. Thank you so much for continuing to watch my content. Thank you for caring. I've already gotten a few comments and messages that have been like, hey, where are your videos? And I apologize. Sometimes I just need to take a break, and I am human. This is not my job, so I can't dedicate as much to it as other people on YouTube can. There are times where I have to weigh my options and decide that things in my personal life are much more important than this channel. That's not to say I'm ever abandoning anybody, because every single one of you that, again, enjoys my content, I love you to death. You mean so much to me. You are some of the most important people to me, even if I've never even seen your face, even if you just watch it silently without ever commenting or liking or, PMing me or anything. So, again, you are so appreciated. Thank you all so very, very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.